Hi everyone, I'm Ryan, analyst and after sales manager here at Talos Drones, and today we have a brand new update for the DJI Agras T100. So today is June 5th. This update won't be happening until estimated roughly next week. So we're filming this a little early. We have access to a beta version, so we are doing some testing as well. But the two main new features of this update is being able to edit a task in operation. So mid-operation, you are capable of editing a task, and then also being able to cross obstacles rather than flying around them. Stay tuned while I showcase these features. So just gonna press begin. And I already did make a quick test map. So new update test right here. It is a field that is nothing special. It is just a simple rectangle. So the first feature I'm going to showcase in this update is the cross obstacle feature. So we have our field, going to select edit, and it's just how you normally would edit a field, or when you are creating a field, you'll have this option as well. So let's say it's a scenario where we are flying our drone, and most cases farmers have irrigation pivots on their flatland crops, so they still need to cover the crops directly under that pivot as well. So, and on top of that, the pivot does move. So pretty much we will be adding that obstacle right here. So I'm just going to go a little bit out, create an obstacle point, add that there.
Point added.
Add another one, let's say down here.
Obstacle point added.
Another one right there.
Obstacle point added.
Right there. So that's one. I'm gonna tap away to deselect it, and then I'm gonna add another one right here. So just gonna make this one a bunch longer. Just like this.
Obstacle point added.
Cool.
Obstacle point added.
All right, tap away to deselect it, and you can see how essentially the drone is pathing to completely avoid this obstacle area. But we don't want to do that, because not only does this obstacle already move on its own and will be changing positions, but there's still crops that you need to cover under it. So what we're going to do is we are going to tap the obstacle, and we get a new set of settings right here. So there's the bypass option, which means completely to avoid it, and then the flyover option. So the flyover option, now you can see the yellow lines essentially indicating where the drone is going to be spraying, is now flying directly over the obstacle. So we have the obstacle height here. So essentially the obstacle height, the way it's determined is basically the flight height is essentially equal to the target obstacle height over the canopy plus the obstacle boundary safety distance. So essentially we are just going to set that at maybe something noticeable. Let's do 15 feet. And then spraying and spreading. So yes, we can enable and disable that over this area as well. You can see it disables the spraying right there. So we're gonna leave that one disabled. So bypass, fly over just again. And then again, to select it or to get to those options, you simply just tap that obstacle area, and then you get a new set of settings right here comes over. You do fly over, and that's how you fly it over. And then this one I'm gonna set to 15 as well. Actually, just so we can see a difference, I'm just going to set this one to maybe like 10. So now we have our obstacle distance here, or our obstacles in the field here. Going to do save, save, cool. And now we have our task right here. I'm going to be cutting this short. As you can see here, we only have 50% battery. We have another battery, and we need to continue on to show off the next feature. So we're just going to essentially be flying this route. So the first one, it's going to be flying over and not spraying. The second one is going to fly over and continue spraying. So we'll get a good showcase of that, and then we're essentially just good to go. So nothing really special with this map. It's just a simple box, and then those two obstacles to showcase this feature. Alright, so that was essentially, you got to see the drone essentially stopping its spray and then flying over, and then also on the second obstacle, it flew over and continued its spraying. You got to see on the remote that I did change it up a bit. That's mainly just for viewing purposes. It was a lot easier to view it this way versus going farther away from us. So now we actually intentionally flew it with a half battery. So now we're going to showcase the next feature, and that is editing a field in progress. So we're just going to do a quick battery swap, essentially pretend like it's the next day or something like that. Maybe something changed, wind direction changed, that type of thing. And you need to change up and you had to stop and continue on to the next day or something like that. We're gonna basically showcase what it's like to kind of edit your field, even though you already sprayed like a certain section of it. Cool. So we're just gonna do a quick battery swap and then continue from there. 83%. It has been sitting out in the sun, so it's 190 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a little hot right now. But so now I'm going to end this task and the current task, and then I'm going to actually go to this little tab on the left. So you'll see this arrow, just tap that. You go to in progress, and then you can actually see everything that we have already pretty much done. So there's a lot of stuff going on because this is where we go and test our field. So I'm just going to delete some of this stuff. So this one, going to delete that, delete these current tasks. Cool. All right, so now we have just the operation that we sprayed. So you can actually see the green lines is where we just flew, but let's say it's the next day and I want to erase those lines. Basically, those lines won't show up the next day and it'll show something like this. So this is what your progress looks like in pretty much mid-operation. So now we have the new option. So I select this, you can see our obstacles there, still there, and you can see the new feature is in the bottom right. So we'll be able to edit this task, and essentially just like how you are editing your field in a normal mapping, you'll be able to edit the task while it's in progress. So there's can be a lot of scenarios in why this would happen. A couple is essentially maybe the wind direction changes, so you need to fly in a specific wind direction or like with the wind, so it's a lot less taxing on the drone. Maybe you, like I said before, you have irrigation pivots, they move. So if an irrigation pivots move, you have to change up where those are, the obstacles are. So essentially you're gonna reenact both. So right now, let's say this is no longer here. So this obstacle essentially is gone. It doesn't need to be there. So actually I can just double tap that, delete the obstacle, and you can see it continues this operation from then on. So I'm going to, you can see even though we sprayed in that area, it's going to recover that area as well actually. So I'm going to go to the next obstacle, double tap that to remove it. So now essentially, let's say the wind direction changes and I need to change the direction that this drone is going to be flying in. So I'm going to double tap this and you can actually change it from there. So on top of that as well, let's say there's an obstacle. An obstacle showed up, or maybe something happened where an entire section of the field you kind of need to not spray or you need to cut out. So I'm going to actually edit the boundaries and cut out that entire section. So cutting it in half, more or less, from then on. Cool. And then just double tap that to make sure it's all lined up. If I can double tap it. Oops. There we go. All right, so now I double tap it so it's all lined up. Change the start point to this corner right there, save that. So we have our new orientation now. So rather than flying essentially parallel to us, and now it's going to be flying perpendicular to us, basically like your normal operation, you can either use this yellow dot right here, and you could change the course angle, or you could just simply, what I did before, double tap the line and you can just follow parallel to that line. You'll notice here as well, it does keep in mind where you last sprayed. So even though this section right here is within the boundaries of this field, it's not going to be spraying there. It actually avoids that area because you already sprayed it. Cool. So now what I was mentioning earlier about the irrigation pivots. So let's say those irrigation pivots moved. I'm going to make another obstacle, add that here.
Obstacle point added.
So add an obstacle point here.
Obstacle point added.
Tap away just to deselect it. And then I'm going to add another obstacle right here.
Obstacle point added. Obstacle point added.
Cool. Tap away to deselect it, and same thing as I showed before. Just tap the obstacle, fly over. Obstacle height, I'm gonna set that to maybe keep them both around the same, just so we can get the same view of it. And I want this one spraying over it. And then this one, tap the obstacle, fly over, 15. And going to set this to not spray over it. Cool. And gonna hit save. So now we have our new route here. We're not going to be able to fly this whole route, but we are going to be covering the areas that are important, which is the new obstacles and essentially what we edited in this in progress task. So everything is essentially good to go. So now once you're complete, you're just going to hit use, and it's just like before. You're going to be able to edit and map out this field just like how you would normally. Another thing as well, in this task, you can also just add boundary points as well. So if you need to do that, you can do that as well. You have full range of essentially what you are capable of doing in the normal editing field. So it's pretty much everything that you're able to do in normal field editing mode, you're able to do here. Cool. So now we're going to save that. And we have 20 gallons left in the tank. The battery is at about 110 degrees, 83%. We're gonna run out of battery right here. Gonna do 5 gallons per acre. Height above cross is 10. Gonna fly 40 feet per second. Not gonna go max speed, just so we can kind of accentuate more like the drone is actually flying over the obstacle, versus if we went max speed, it would kind of do like a gradual incline, which also good, but won't entirely showcase what we want to show. So everything is set, everything is good to go, and we're ready to take off. All right, so we're in the truck, camera overheated, so we're continuing here. So we finished our flight. We have 38% battery left, and you were able to see that it did follow that path that I made, essentially the brand new edited path that I created. You can also see here that it did again show another showcase of just it flying over the hypothetical irrigation pivot. There was a section where it flew over and a section where it didn't spray at all and still flew over as well. Those are the two main features in this update. There's going to be additional things, probably most likely bug fixes, that type of thing. But these are the two main features that we wanted to showcase. That is going to be coming essentially next week. Today is June 5th. Again, not set in stone that it's coming next week, but it is projected to come out next week. So yeah, so we have that to look forward to. And thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ryan with Talos Drones, and be sure to watch the next video.